Yo, what is up YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2019 Back Battles. Today we are using the Kyurem-Black Solgaleo team once again with Kyurem-Black Solgaleo, the Tapu Fini, Hydreigon, Venusaur, and Incineroar. If you haven't checked out the previous episodes, I highly recommend you do so. You might notice my background is a bit different. I am starting back in college, starting the day I'm recording this. So back in college, we'll be making a stream schedule for college eventually. I gotta figure out like what times I'm really free. So I also got to figure out my recording schedule as well as my streaming schedule, which is probably going to be like 2 to 3 times a week, hopefully. So I'll try to figure out dates for those. I'll let you all know when I do have those dates available in the community tabs, but otherwise, yeah, let's get started. We got a 1482 rated player from Japan, and of course we're looking to hit that like goal. 175 likes is the like goal for this video and all the other videos we use this team, and if we do hit it within the like goal of 2 weeks of the final episode being uploaded, we will have this team on the global link available to everyone. So yeah, we got a Tapu Koko, Incineroar, Yveltal, Groudon, Celesteal, and Shiftry. Every time I'm rating, I don't remember if I did, because I remember I was getting frustrated playing a few days ago, so I can't remember if I reset my rating again or not. Let's see, we got Tapu Koko, let's see. Shiftry is interesting here, it does have the ability to have Chlorophyll with a fast Grass type attack and a Dark type attack. Probably Knock Off and Leaf Blade. It also gets access to Tailwind. Not really that big of a threat though to my team. My Kyurem-Black does fantastic against this team, and I do want to bring the Kyurem-Black. With Hydreigon's good, just depending on if the Tapu Koko does carry Dazzling Gleam or not, which is something I'm gonna have to note. Tapu Fini can do alright. Heal Pulse is actually pretty good against my opponent's team, and Incineroar is also pretty good against my opponent's team, and my Venusaur is actually really good too. So I think I'm gonna go. I think I always go like Hydreigon and Incineroar with Tapu Fini, Kyurem in the back. I sometimes opt to bring the, like against Groudon and Yveltal teams, these are usually the standard two I usually bring. I also sometimes bring the Venusaur depending on the mix up, but usually these are the 4 Pokemon and the leads I like to mix up, and it's pretty much the same composition as like the other teams that I'm aware of. So let's see what is going to be coming out from my opponent's side. Also, I apologize for like the lighting not being the best, but I'm working with the best of what I have in college. Maybe one day I'll be able to afford like the Elgato key light or, you know, some better lighting system, but we'll see in the future. We're going to see the Yveltal and Incineroar lead off against my Hydreigon and my Incineroar. So this is going by really slowly. Whereas the abilities, the Dark Aura, the Intimidate. What's going on? Okay, there we go. There's the Dark Aura. I've been waiting for it too, people. Don't worry. So Incineroar's Intimidate, mine goes off first. Getting rid of the Incineroar is pretty key in this matchup because the Intimidate is kind of annoying from my side of the field, as well as the fact that if we can get rid of Incineroar, it's like a very, very nice answer and switch into my Kyurem-Black. So thinking of just going for Earth Power and U-turn into the Incineroar, as I can get some momentum potentially, go out into, let's say, my Tapu Fini and start clicking Heal Pulse on my Hydreigon. So we'll go for the Earth Power and U-turn. I think I don't see a real big drawback to this play. A fake out can happen, but I'm not exactly sure who you decide to fake out. Maybe you're going to fake out my Hydreigon, maybe expecting a fake out into your Yveltal. You might hard switch here, which I could definitely see, but we are going to see the fake out come out into the Hydreigon. Yep, so that's fine. And a Snarl going to come out. It's actually going to be, looks like max speed Incineroar since it did outspeed my Hydreigon, it looks like. So that's not good because usually I'm used to the bulky Assault Vest Yveltal, so that's not exactly that great for me. But I will be able to get a U-turn off, and I could go out into Fini or Kyurem-Black. And I'm thinking Kyurem-Black because if it is max speed Yveltal, it doesn't really appreciate my Kyurem-Black coming in and getting to click a move. So we'll go Kyurem-Black here. Assault Vest isn't really that important in this matchup, it's just getting the damage output onto my opponent's side. So a Fusion Bolt is looking very lovely into Yveltal. And my Incineroar is also looking like a very good switch in. I could also go for an Earth Power once again, but if the Yveltal clicks Snarl again, I don't really want that to happen. And I also want to have a switch into Groudon if Groudon never gets to come in for free. So I'm going to go for the Fusion Bolt and just go on an Incineroar because I have the Fake Out Pressure available. I get another Intimidate off, so these Pokemon really aren't doing much damage at all to me. And yeah, getting the damage on Yveltal is really nice because if I can get rid of Yveltal, that means I don't have to really worry about Snarl spam anymore, which is super good for my team. So we'll retreat Hydreigon here. We'll go out into our Incineroar. Just trying to keep this momentum as much as possible, as well as keeping as many tools available to us as switch-ins as possible. So we get this Intimidate off into these Pokemon. We have the Fake Out Pressure off for the next turn, as we're going to see the Snarl once again come out, which is fine. I'm guessing that confirms it's probably Assault Vest if you just keep going for Snarl. We do have the Fusion Bolt here, which will go on to Yveltal. I know my opponent could have went Groudon, but I wasn't really skeptical about my opponent going Groudon for the Yveltal because he didn't know if I would click Ice Beam or not. Or maybe like a Z-move Free Shock, for instance, because that is a thing. We do a nice amount of damage to the Yveltal, as we are going to see the U-turn come out from the Incineroar. Going to target down my Incineroar, which does make sense. And now we're going to get to see my opponent bring out a new Pokemon, and that's most likely going to be the Groudon. And, you know, I really don't mind the Groudon coming out. It's just the Snarl plus Precipice Blades covers a lot on my switch-ins, as we're actually going to see the Tapu Koko come out of all Pokemon. If this has Dazzling Gleam and my opponent goes down to Groudon now, that's actually a really good play, because I really don't have good switch-ins to that. Although I think my Incineroar should be able to live a Gigavolt Havoc at this range, so I should be good with that department. I actually want to go for a U-turn into the Yveltal and go hard in a Feeny. I want to try to catch a... One, if you Gigavolt Havoc anyway, it's not going to do too much damage. Two, I don't really see Volt... You could Volt Switch Kyurem-Black in theory. I don't know. I mean, I'm fine with taking one Volt Switch. And I think it's just better for me to get momentum in case that Groudon next to Tapu Koko comes out, which is what I'm scared of. We are going to see Yveltal retreat. Is that Groudon coming in? No, it's Incineroar once again. Okay. So I get a bit of chip into the Incineroar, which is fine as well. And I don't really mind this spot. We'll see what the Tapu Koko goes for, because I really want to scout for that Dazzling Gleam. I also could get a Light Screen up here, which is actually pretty nice. So we'll retreat our Kyurem-Black, go out and Incineroar, get rid of these special attack drops. We could potentially just bring out the Kyurem-Black again, which is what I'm thinking of right here, as it does seem very good for me, as we are going to see a Volt Switch come out from the Tapu Koko, going to target down my Incineroar, so really not doing too much damage. Gets a critical hit, which is kind of annoying, because I believe that puts me at range of Gigavolt Havoc out of terrain, so even if I get my Tapu Fini repositioned, it's not going to go well. I'm going to have to get this Light Screen up most likely. We'll see what my opponent decides to bring out. If it's the Groudon, I could just go Hydreigon, I think, and just double protect. Yeah, Groudon's gonna come out. Okay. I really want the damage in the Groudon. Groudon's like the super scary part about this team, where if I play really bad against the Groudon, I'm not exactly in a favorable spot. We U-turn out the Incineroar and chip it, and we get to go into our Hydreigon here. I could go Incineroar for my Feeny, but I'm in range of Precipice Blade since I think I'm in range of Precipice Blades. It comes down to like how much investment the Groudon has. I could go for a Tailwind here and a Moonblast, which is very tempting here, because I want to see one, how bulky this Groudon is. Two, if Tapu Koko comes out, that's fine. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go for the Moonblast into the Groudon slot and just go for the Tailwind. Even if a Fake Out like Precipice Blades come out, it's not really the end of the world. It's not doing too much damage to my team, unless it's like a banded Groudon, for instance. So we are going to see Fake Out come out into the Hydreigon, which is fine. I could Heal Pulse that damage later. We're going to Moonblast. Looks like the Groudon is slower than my Tapu Fini, so that's a thing to note. We do a decent amount of damage. Thunder Punch going to come out though from the Groudon. Okay, that did a lot of damage to my Tapu Fini, let me just say. That banded? That might be Choice Banded. That's just way too much. That's either banded or max special attack. Actually, I think it's max attack Assault Vest. That's what the Groudon looks like to me. If that's the case, I want to go straight for the Z move and Moonblast into the top Groudon slot, because I should be able to get a KO on anything on that slot. So I'm actually going to go for that play, because if it is Assault Vest, I do want to get rid of it. As we will go for the double Z. We're not going to see a switch out. We're probably just going to see a U-turn come out from my opponent, and that's fine. If I get rid of Groudon, my Kyurem-Black doesn't really take much damage from the rest of my opponent's team. So we're going to go for the Z move, the Black Hole Eclipse. And this Z move was clutch at the regional, let me just say. It was really clutch at the regional. It did so much damage. Let's see if we're able to knock out the Groudon. Ooh, barely misses it, but we are able to get a Moonblast off into the Groudon, and that'll be able to pick up the knockout. Now I can't tell if that's the Groudon with bulk. I really just can't tell. So we're going to see a U-turn come out into the Hydreigon, which we should survive. Yeah, Okay, perfect. My opponent probably just going to go out into the Tapu Koko right now, which is alright for me. I really don't mind that the Tapu Koko comes out. I mean, I would assume Tapu Koko has a Z-move, so I don't think the ground has a Z-move, but it's Yveltal coming out, which makes sense because I think no matter what, you're going to pair up your Yveltal next to the Tapu Koko. That's what I would imagine comes out here. The question is Hydreigon really worth keeping? And I think the answer is yes, because one Tailwind allows a lot of momentum on my side. So I think Hydreigon is definitely worth keeping. So let us see what my opponent decides to bring out. Should be the Tapu Koko. I can't imagine the Tapu Koko not being brought here. Yep, Tapu Koko going to come out. My opponent gets a pretty free Thunderbolt into a Snarl into my slots, and I really can't do much about that. Actually, my opponent switched into Tapu Koko and Thunder Punch. That would have obliterated my Feeny now that I think about it. We get to switch out into our Incineroar here. We get that Intimidate off, and I think just protect our Tapu Fini. I think the only way you could really punish this is if you double into my into my Incineroar switching, but I think I'd get a free switch into Kyurem-Black, so it wouldn't be the end of the world. My opponent would have to play super aggressive to get out of this tough spot that my opponent's in right now. And I get to click Fusion Ball into the Yveltal slot, I think, pretty freely. So we will get Intimidate off into the Tapu Koko and the Yveltal. So let's see how much... Let's see what my opponent's going to do. I think it's Thunderbolt Snarl. I think it covers a lot of options. I could see Oblivion Wing potentially here, but I'm not exactly too sure. We're going to see the Dazzling Gleam come out. So it does have Dazzling Gleam. That's a good thing to note. Dazzling Gleam going to come out into the Incineroar. That really didn't do much. And the Oblivion Wing into the Feeny. Okay. So if it's Oblivion Wing, Snarl, you want to assume it's probably either A, Assault Vest, or B, it's just full special. If that's the case, I could just go for Fake Out and Light Screen, which is very, very tempting. And I think I am going to go for the Fake Out into the Tapu Koko and try to set up that Light Screen, because it allows my Kyurem-Black so much momentum. It actually allows my Kyurem-Black so much momentum if I just get this Light Screen up. Because my opponent, even with a super effective Dazzling Gleam, not going to do much to an Assault Vest Kyurem behind a Light Screen, which is something that's really good about this team. The defensive maneuver it can play with that Light Screen is so huge for this team. What can my opponent do? I don't think Oblivion Wing knocks out the Incineroar at this range. Let's see. Fake Out into Tapu Koko, which is important damage, because Fake Out does put the Tapu Koko 100% in range of one of my Earth powers. We're gonna see the Oblivion Wing come out. Yep, doesn't do enough. And I could also Flare Blitz the Tapu Koko or the Yveltal, depending on how I feel. And I think I want to Flare Blitz the Tapu Koko slot. We will get a Light Screen up, which is really good. Yeah, this is good. Sunlight Fades though, so yeah, not exactly the best option. I think U-turn is the play, and that's U-turn out in the Yveltal and just get in my Kyurem here. Because I think that I want to keep up board positioning, because I want to save the Incineroar just as a switch in for my opponent's Incineroar, which is probably the best thing that my opponent can do to my Kyurem-Black is click a knockoff or a Flare Blitz from that Incineroar. Like the moveset we've seen from the Yveltal so far is just Oblivion Wing and Snarl. So we'll bring out our Kyurem-Black, which is pretty healthy, as we are going to see a Volt Switch come out, which is no surprise there. Going to be tying down the Kyurem-Black and do... That did nothing. That actually did nothing. And we're going to see the... I don't know, I'd say Oblivion Wing or Snarl once again, which is fine. We're going to see the Incineroar on my opponent's side, and this is pretty good for me because I can start getting the heal pulses off. Like, I'm in a very solid spot. The following turn, I can also click a free Earth Power into the Incineroar slot and either do a lot of damage to the Incineroar to put in range of another one, or I could go for the Fusion Bolt into the Yveltal, because that might be able to... Actually, no, I was Intimidate, so I want to be able to pick up the Knockout into the Incineroar, which... Actually, I might be able to knock out the Yveltal. With the chip damage I have, I might be able to knock out Yveltal with Fusion Bolt, so my opponent has to play some guessing games. Huh. Okay. We'll go Tapu Fini here, we get a heal pulse off. I could also just Moonblast the Yveltal too, because Moonblast does a lot, but... Or I could go Incineroar for the Tapu Fini, so I was like, which one do I really prefer? Like, I have so many options here, there is no drawback to anything. I could also see just Fake Out attack into the Kyurem-Black, which would be fine. I'm thinking of just going for the heal pulse. Yeah, I'm gonna heal pulse. And I really want the damage into the Incineroar, so I think I'm just going to go for the Earth Power into Incineroar. Getting that Earth Power damage is so crucial into the Incineroar. As we're going to see a Fake Out come out, it is going to target down the Kyurem and a Snarl. Yeah, that's fine. So, I can go for multiple options here afterward. I could double up the Yveltal with Fusion Bolt into Moonblast, which might actually be able to pick up the knockout. And if I get rid of... I really do want to get rid of the Yveltal right here if my opponent allows me to. Moonblast and a Fusion Bolt will do a lot, even to, let's say, the Tapu Koko in the back. How many times of light screen do I have? I have 2. I want a Moonblast. I could also just go Incineroar here. Actually, Incineroar just covers a lot of plays because I have the Fake Out pressure as well. I think I'm actually just going to go for the Fusion Bolt into the Yveltal slot. The reason I'm going to go for Fusion Bolt is because of the fact that I'll still get a lot of damage no matter what. I do want to intimidate this Incineroar. I really don't want Kyurem to take too much damage, and the most my opponent can do is that, the Flare Blitz coming out from the Incineroar. So we'll get Intimidate off onto these Pokemon, and then we'll have Fake Out for the following turn. And if Tapu Koko decided to come out, I could have Faked Out, and also I could have reset Terrain, which is actually pretty big. So it's Volt Switch, Dazzling Gleam. I want to assume Thunderbolt and Protect on the Tapu Koko. Let's see. Just a Snarl, no surprise there. So really just not doing any damage behind that light screen. And yeah, this is a slow game, but this is the game we play with this team. It does play very defensively against this team. So we will be able to get a Fusion Bolt. How much are we doing? How much are we doing? Almost a knockout on the Yveltal, but that does put in range of Fake Out, which is actually really good. We're going to see the U-turn 2 come out from the Incineroar, which is completely fine because now I get a free Fake Out into the I could go for a Fake Out into the Tapu Koko, Fusion Bolt the Yveltal. I could also do it the other way. I could also just Fake Out the Yveltal and go for a Earth Power into Tapu Koko. Both are like very viable plays here. I think I'd rather Fake Out the Tapu Koko and go for a Fusion Bolt into the Yveltal, because even if Incineroar comes out for the Yveltal, I just get so much damage into that Incineroar slot, into maybe an Earth Power range from the following Kyurem-Black if I switch out. So I think I'm just going to go for that Fusion Bolt. And if I can get a Yveltal, that's actually really nice for my team. So we'll go for the Fake Out here into the Yveltal. Let's see what my opponent does. Like, I think Kyurem-Black just is going to be able to win this game at this point, like solo my opponent's team. My opponent doesn't really have best answers. We're going to see, yep, the Yveltal switch out, going to be into that Incineroar. Maybe I could have went for Fake Out or Power on Tapu Koko, but Tapu Koko might decide to protect here, so that's the main reason I also didn't want to go for that play. Because I got nothing if I just faked out the Yveltal and Earth Power. But it looks like my opponent didn't protect. We will get a Fake Out into the Tapu Koko, as well as a Fusion Bolt into the Incineroar. It is -2, but it's an electric terrain, and it is going to do a decent amount of damage, I would assume. Not as much as I would like, unfortunately. Light screen also wears off, which is pretty big. I'm going to sack some Pokemon here. I'm going to sack my Hydreigon and go out on the Feeny, because of the fact that once Kyurem-Black comes out, I'm actually in a really decent spot. We are playing a very, very slow game right here, but again, I think I have the positioning to where Kyurem-Black just wins the game if I play defensive. It kind of stinks that the Tapu Koko runs Dazzling Gleam. They don't really run Dazzling Gleam on Yveltal, because if this Tapu Koko didn't have Dazzling Gleam, this game would have probably been over. I could have just ignored the Tapu Koko, but since it does have Dazzling Gleam, I do have to take that into a note of consideration right here. So we'll bring out the Feeny, we'll sack Hydreigon, because if you're going to go for an electric type move, it's probably into my Incineroar right here. So we'll bring out the Hydreigon here. We're going to see Fake Out come out into the Kyurem and a Dazzling Gleam. Thunderbolt into the Hydreigon. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Oh, wow, that didn't even KO. That's actually kind of... is that good or bad for me? I guess, like, now I could... If we go for Dazzling Gleam, I could go for a Light Screen here. I don't think a Dazzling Gleam... Would Dazzling Gleam Flare Blitz knock out my Incineroar? I don't think it would. Do I also just want to go for a Moonblast, because a Moonblast wouldn't be too bad either? Because if he Thunderbolt my Feeny, that's fine. I get a Tailwind up, and that should seal the game. I think I'm just going to go for the Light Screen, though, here. Light Screen and Tailwind. Because if you knock out my Hydreigon, I get the Light Screen up, so my Kyurem-Black again walls his team. And if you're going to go for the knock on Feeny, for instance, I just am able to get a... I'm just able to get a lot of momentum. So we're going to see the Z move come out. So it's the Electrium Z. It's going to target down. I don't know, maybe you're attacking Hydreigon expecting the Protect right here, but I assume this goes down to Feeny because it'd probably pick up a knockout unless I switch into Kyurem, and I don't think the Kyurem switch makes sense if you Dazzle and Gleam there. So we will see the Tapu Fini drop. It kind of stinks because I think if I also Earth Powered into Tapu Koko, that would have also been safe, but I didn't know if he would actually protect the Tapu Koko or not. As we will just go for the Tailwind here. U-turn going to come out, which is fine as well. Into the Hydreigon slot. And gets a critical hit, which does not matter to me. And now we get Kyurem-Black, who gets to go for Earth Power. And I get Incineroar in, which can go for Flare Blitz. So I don't think I'm in the bad spot at all, actually. It just really depends on if my opponent plays smart with the fake outs. I think that's what it's going to come down to. We do have Light Screen up, which is like super good, though. Our Light Screen is super good right here for my team. I am a little bit scared of the end game with Incineroar, but I think I should have enough tools because my opponent's not expecting the Earth Power. You might just lose the game right here. So we will bring out the Kyurem-Black. We will bring out the Incineroar because I don't think I ever clicked Earth Power with the Kyurem. I don't think I ever clicked Earth Power in general. So I'm just going to go for a Flare Blitz into the Yveltal and an Earth Power and a Tapu Koko because I'd be able to pick up knockouts here. And even if, let's say, the Yveltal switches in Incineroar, one, if my opponent doesn't protect the Tapu Koko, that's a dumb play. Because you're not going to have the option to do that. Like, well, one, you have to protect Tapu Koko, I think. The match is actually going to be forfeited. I mean, I think my opponent could still came back if you play smart enough. You protect Koko, you sack your Yveltal, you bring in Incineroar, you fake out Gleam. I guess it does, like, it's very sketch in the end game. Because even, let's say, the Yveltal sacked, like I mentioned about, the Tapu Koko protects, and Incineroar gets in, right? You have to go for fake out of my Kyurem. If you fake out my Kyurem, I go for Flare Blitz into your Incineroar, and that puts in range of Earth Power, and I just click Earth Power after that. And this Tapu Koko under Light Screen with the Assault Vest, you're not doing anything with Dazzling Gleam anyway. You would need like a bunch of crits, and even then the crits might not even be doing enough because of the Assault Vest that I have. So yeah, might have been very unlikely for my opponent to win, but yeah, we are able to pick up a win. That was a really long game, by the way. That was 20-minute game. A lot of my games actually at the regional championship was really long. At Dallas, I was playing a lot to timer actually. It just came down to that because of how slow the game was. Because yeah, it's super slow. Oh, why did I play a second game? This is an auto loss. Zerndon is pretty much an auto loss. I don't know what people will think. It is an auto loss in my opinion. Okay. Talonflame, this looks so bad for me. Talonflame, Kartana, Amoonguss, and Incineroar, Xerneas, Ground. Zerndon was definitely one of the matchups I wasn't really expecting too much at the regional, and it actually did pretty well at the regional. Which is not good because this team doesn't have the best Zerndon matchup. I think we'll go Venusaur plus Solgaleo as the lead because it's the one that covers most of the options that I have. I think I have to have Incineroar and Feeny in the back. Can't really bring Kyurem into this. Kyurem really... It does hit a lot of things for good damage, but like... I need Feeny for the Misty Seed and the Heal Pulse options. I need Incineroar to slow down the Groudon, which is immensely important, as well as the other fire types. It's a good switch in for those, as well as the grass types. It's kind of weird. It's double fire, double grass. Yeah, it's just really weird. And then I need Solgaleo for Xerneas. That's all I can really say. These are the options I have. I don't really have much, but yeah, we get to bring Venusaur again, which is really nice. And actually, Hidden Power Fire Venusaur came in clutch against the Zernoger team that I played because my opponent thought they could ignore the Venusaur, but I revealed the Hidden Power Fire game 3 into the Kartana, and then yeah, that my opponent wasn't expecting that. So really glad I had Hidden Power Fire. Sleep Powder might make this match more viable, but I don't really mind it. It's another Talonflame leading. That is such a weird lead here. That is such a weird lead. Okay. We'll go on Incineroar here. And I guess the question is, do I want to actually attack? Or do I want to protect? Would you double up into Solgaleo, or would you fake out the Venusaur scared of Sleep Powder? I think that's the question. I think I'll gamble it here, because if I get Sunsteel Strike and Incineroar, I put in range of the superpower from my Solgaleo. This is kind of risky, but I have to play risky against this team. I don't really have safe options against this team. If I play safe, like, my opponent can easily capitalize with the Groudon, for instance. So I think I do have to switch out here, go out into the Incineroar. I also don't want a Z-move going out right away into my Venusaur, because of the fact that losing my Sash here would be really bad for the matchup as well. Like, there's so many bad factors for me right here in this matchup. We're going to see the Fake Out come out. It is going to target down the Venusaur, which is nice. And we're going to see Taunt actually come out of Solgaleo, which is fine, because I didn't Trick Room. I want to immediately get rid of the Incineroar. Wasn't actually expecting the Taunt option, but this works out immensely in my favor, because now I'm able to get a Sunsteel Strike off into the Incineroar. And now I can go for a U-turn into the Talonflame. Yeah, I can go for a U-turn into Talonflame, break that Gale Wings ability, and I think go for the superpower. I don't know if Incineroar switches out, which is definitely a possible option, but I do want the damage into that Incineroar slot, whether it's the Groudon coming in or if it's the Incineroar knockout, because both are really good for my Venusaur in the back, because superpower damage puts in range of a Grass Knot if it's a especially defensive variant. And knocking out the Incineroar obviously is super huge for my team in general. So we'll go for superpower into the Incineroar and we'll U-turn. We want the momentum where we can bring out Venusaur. Yeah, that's basically what I'm going for at this point. So we're going to see Tailwind, which is no surprise there, and the Incineroar stays in, which is pretty good for me. So now I can bring out my... I'm 100% bring out my Venusaur here. I don't want to activate my Misty Seed just yet onto my Solgaleo, because I want to switch out before I get that Misty Seed, because we did use the superpower on the one target that had to be hit by superpower, and we'll U-turn the Talonflame. We get to go out into Venusaur. So we're not playing bad at all in this game, but it is still very tough here. As we'll bring out the Venusaur here, and it's still question marks. Like, this game's still fiddled with question marks. As we'll get to see, I assume the Groudon come in. I assume the Groudon comes in. Yeah. The Fire moves is also threat. I'm going to go Incineroar for the Venusaur, because I think that's the play here. Because I want to figure out how offensive or bulky this Groudon is. I'm going to go Infinity for the Solgaleo. You're probably clicking Precipice Blades and Brave Bird into the Venusaur. You might click your Z move now. Talonflame should be Z move, I think, on this team. Like, I think one of the things that Talonflame got was that Z move. So I think its Z move is coming up. Let's see. We see Tailwind Taunt. You want to Boom Flare, but it's plus Brave Bird, right? So let's see here. Get the Intimidate off into the Groudon as well as the Talonflame. Get in my Feeny as well, because we're going to need the Misty Surge for my Solgaleo. Yeah. Actually, if I switched in Feeny for the other side, I might have also been screwed. It's because I would have probably activated my Seed by accident. So let's see. Brave Bird gonna come out into the team Incineroar. Yeah. Okay, if this is off, oh, it's Life Up Talonflame instead, and Z Groudon. Okay, that made this game definitely more interesting. Okay, so it's gonna be the Z move. The question is who into. And note, I'm gonna be very mad if it isn't a Venusaur slot, because I could have just Grass Knotted. Okay, just Grass Knot. My man really just let me Grass Knot the Groudon and win the game. It's still fine, because Feeny is going to live that. Doesn't activate the berry, which is actually pretty bad for me, but I just got to stall out this Tailwind, or I could go for the knock on a Talonflame. You're going to Brave Bird my Incineroar anyway. Okay, I think I know what I want to do. I think I'm going to fake out the Groudon. Don't be Quick Guard Talonflame. You could be Quick Guard on this team. Like, I could see it. I'm gonna go Solgaleo here. You're not Flare Blitzing my Feeny. You're definitely Brave Birding. We're gonna see the Talonflame retreat, which is actually great for me. Into the Xerneas. Okay, this is pretty good for me. I can get my Trick Room up. And getting the Trick Room up is pretty huge against this team. So, we'll withdraw Feeny. We'll go out into Solgaleo here. Ooh, boy. We could go for a Flare Blitz into Groudon and a Trick Room. We could Snarl too, but I'm not sure if I want to Snarl. Moonblast into Precipice Blades is not going to knock out my Solgaleo at -1. I could sack my Feeny here to get a free switch in. Don't know if that's worth it to me. We had 3 turns of Sun left too, but I do want to get Trick Room up. I think I'm just going to go for the Flare Blitz attempt into the Groudon and Trick Room. Yeah, I think that's fine. We're going to see the Xerneas retreat because it doesn't want to exactly be here in this position. Talonflame's going to come back out, which is fine. And Precipice Blade's going to come out. So let's see if this actually does knock out my Pokemon, because this is going to be a pretty big one. It does knock out my Incineroar, which does stink. We will get Trick Room up. Still not the worst spot, I guess. Although not the most ideal one either, because Tailwind petered out. Actually, I should just went to, I should have just Sunsteel Striked the Talonflame. I messed up. Yeah, I messed up. I guess I could hope for a Moonblast into Sunsteel Strike knocking out the Talonflame here, but even then, that's like really sketch. I probably could knock it out though. Or what I could do is Moonblast the Talonflame and protect the Solgaleo. Which actually doesn't seem like a bad idea now that I think about it. I think I'm going to make that play, because I have 4 turns of Trick Room to work with. Yeah, 4 turns of Trick Room to work with. Okay, we're going to make that play, actually. I'm going to hope that Moonblast and the Sunsteel Strike can knock out the Talonflame. I know they're resisted hits, but Talonflame's not exactly the bulkiest Pokemon in the world. And if it's a Life Up Talonflame, I'm not sure how well it's going to be able to take hits anyway, and I assume it doesn't have much bulk. We will go for the Moonblast and the Talonflame here. We need this to pick up the damage. Oh, that's really questionable. I don't think so. It's just knocking it out. But that's my out here. I'd really assume not. Oh, Feeny actually lives the attack, which is kind of... I guess it's alright, actually. It's alright. Flare Blitz into Solgaleo. Okay. I'm going to go for the Moonblast and the Sunsteel Strike into the Talonflame. I got to hope for that knockout in the Talonflame slot. I am guaranteed a knockout because Xerneas or Talonflame is going to go down here. Actually, it would be a really good play to sack your Xerneas here, because like Xerneas is not necessary at all for you to win the game, and I think Talonflame is actually more valuable. So if my opponent does make that play, bravo to you. It's a really good play, but... I could definitely see the Xerneas being a Pokemon that my opponent wants on the field. So we'll double up in the Talonflame here. We're hoping we get rid of Talonflame. Then both my Pokemon should live with Precipice Blades. It's really close to my Solgaleo though. If I lose my Solgaleo here, this is probably the game. Wait, why is the Groudon slower? I did click Sunsteel Strike, right? Well, it gets the roll on my Solgaleo anyway. Guess a Flare Blitz off into my Tapu Fini. Is that a crit, or is that just a Flare Blitz? Jeez. Okay, we knock out the Talonflame. It's not that bad. It's still really bad, actually. Sun fades. Misty's terrain disappears. Oh, I'm gonna go on a Venusaur. This is really close. Xerneas comes out. I hope for a choke and you go for Fire Punch into my Venusaur. I mean, you should click Blades. You really should click Blades. But maybe my opponent doesn't risk a miss. It's like, what can I do? Because even if you click Blades... How many turns of Trick Room Drive left? 2. Okay. Maybe it's actually viable. We'll go for Protect Grass Knot. Hope we can knock out the Groudon, and then hope we Sludge Bomb as hope Xerneas protects and we're able to get a Light Screen off. I mean, that's like the hope. Wait, why does Xerneas protect here? Xerneas should never protect. What? If I knock out the ground on grass knot, might actually be... Oh, this is close. Why did you protect this turn? You protect the next... You Geomancy here for free. I guess my opponent didn't want to haze, but even then... Yeah, I knock out the ground on. Now it's got to be like a 50-50, I think. Because I Sludge Bomb. And I Moonblast. Or did I Light Screen? Because if we get a double protect... Moonblast should knock out Venusaur though at this range, I think. I'm going to Moonblast Sludge Bomb. I'm going to Moonblast Sludge Bomb. Well, I guess if it's a slow Xerneas and it's underspeeds my Venusaur, I guess Light Screen was a better play. But let's see. Moonblast. Chip. Oh, I don't know if that's enough. Oh, that's not enough. Poison? Wait, my opponent went for Gleam? I guess you don't want a Geomancy in case of haze, but... Okay, I guess Gleam and a Moonblast would have finished it off anyway. I'm just surprised it wasn't a Geo, but... That works out for me. We ended up taking the game. Oh man, that was not a game we should have won. This game was definitely not supposed to be a winnable game. The Groudon was slower than I thought, even though it had Tectonic Rage. I thought it would be a fast variant Tectonic Rage, which is why, like... And I screwed up by going for Trick Room, I think, that one turn. Because I think if I just got the damage with Sunsteel Strike, I would have been good. Because they Venusaur next to Solgaleo would have done really well against my opponent's team regardless, because I got knockouts over damage on everything. The early turns of the game were really good. I messed up in the middle. Kind of was messing up towards the end too, but luckily we were still able to pull it out. Again, I was having to go on chokes at that point. Feeny Living was kind of huge, but at the same time I kind of wanted to switch. The Precipice Blades was a roll too, so I was like, let's see if my opponent gets the roll. Did get the roll. But yeah, hope everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 2019 Baek Battles. If you did enjoy, please leave a like down below, show support, as well as you can check out the rest of my stuff down below in the description, such as my social media, the side series of my channel, and all that good stuff, including the Page Managers team, which is linked down below. And if you do want to go that extra mile, there is my Patreon page linked in the description down below if you do want to support me. And yeah, feel free to leave a comment down below as I do read them. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. Have a great day, people. Until we battle again, I'll catch y'all later.